He's an accurate thrower, doesn't have a huge arm, moves okay, and when he's got to make big throws in the red zone, he's pretty damn good at it. That's my take. Yours.
How is it that the most accurate, explosive quarterback on the field isn't even getting first-team reps? How does someone dominate under pressure, deliver in the red zone, and outperform his competition, only to be sent right back to the bench? That's exactly what's happening with Shadur Sanders in Cleveland. Despite showing flashes of brilliance in live game action, analysts are shocked that the Browns coaching staff refuses to give him the keys, even as Gabriel continues to struggle week after week. But this isn't just a debate about stats or talent anymore. There's something deeper going on. Calls of bias, favoritism, even accusations of an internal agenda have started to swirl. And if you look closely, it's hard to ignore. Why is a quarterback this capable being held back? And who's really behind the decision?
Yeah, I think so.
So in a live game, you saw him play the way he played and still question if he can do the same thing when he has the actual starters at his disposal. We saw it show up. The fact that he's not getting first-team reps with the ones and the twos and still went out there and looked the way he did.
While headline names dominate the spotlight, Shadur Sanders has been quietly stealing the show behind the scenes. He's not working with the top-tier offensive line. He's not throwing to the Browns' premier receivers. In fact, he's barely been given a real opportunity with the first or even second string. And yet, he continues to shine. In limited reps and under low-pressure expectations, Shedeur is putting together performances that coaches can't ignore and analysts can't explain. His ball placement has been sharp, his footwork clean, and when it comes to the red zone, arguably the most pressure-filled part of the field, he's executing like a seasoned vet. He's not flashy for the sake of it. He's not making noise off the field. He's simply performing. And that's what makes this situation even more bizarre.
My thing is, he says no reasonable person thinks Sanders will be fully ready to lead a team and consistently attack a complicated NFL defense 3 weeks from now. What about Gabriel? Has he shown you enough?
Because what's happening here isn't the typical rookie waiting his turn story. No, this feels like a quarterback earning the spotlight, only to have the lights turned off before he hits the stage. Despite every reason to elevate him, Shedeur is still waiting. And his quiet dominance is starting to raise very loud questions. As the chatter around Shadur Sanders grows louder, one voice remains strangely quiet. Head coach Kevin Stefanski. When pressed about Shedeur's standout performances, Stefanski avoids praise like it's a trap. He doesn't celebrate the reads, the accuracy, or even the leadership Shedeur has shown. Instead, he points to things that need refining or areas that need improvement. And while constructive feedback is part of any coach's job, the tone around Shedeur feels intentionally muted.
I can't imagine there's many people that think Gabriel's a better quarterback than Shadur Sanders. I don't care where they were drafted. And if the Browns are the one team that thinks that, then I'm going to suspect it's not true.
Listen,
I've been on every quarterback evaluation for 30 years.
Right.
I never root against anybody.
Yeah.
But I'd be surprised if Gabriel's ever a legitimate starting quarterback for the
Compare that to how Gabriel is addressed. Despite shaky numbers and inconsistent outings, media sessions around focus on development and potential. There's optimism. There's patience. There's belief. But with Shedeur, there's distance. And it hasn't gone unnoticed. Analysts, former players, even fans have started asking why a young QB doing everything right still hasn't earned public support from his own coach. It's not just what Stefanski is saying that has people raising eyebrows. It's what he isn't saying. Because in a league where confidence starts at the top, Stefanski's silence may not just be a leadership style. It might be a message. While the Browns stayed quiet, Shannon Sharpe didn't hold back. The Hall of Famer and media heavyweight called out Kevin Stefanski directly, sparking a firestorm on national TV. His message was clear. If Shadur Sanders isn't ready,
But I thought the guys did a really nice job of Shedeur and operating, the guys making plays. So, again, a ton to teach off.
Sharpe didn't just question the coaching. He called out the double standard. He highlighted the fact that Shedeur is being judged more harshly despite battling tougher odds. Fewer reps, no chemistry with top receivers, and still managing to look sharp every time he touches the ball. Meanwhile, Gabriel has been handed every resource on a silver platter and still can't deliver. But Shannon didn't stop at playstyle. He hinted at something deeper, something uncomfortable. He implied that this isn't just a football decision. It's a decision clouded by bias. Whether it's based on race, reputation, or something internal, Sharpe made it clear. This isn't about who's better. It's about who's being protected. And his comments quickly echoed across sports media. Because when one of the NFL's most respected voices speaks this loud, people listen.
Wait a minute, but where's the can't coming from when we just saw him do it? I know it's a small sample size, it's 3/4 of football, but everything you said he can do, he just did. Matter of fact, he just did what we already saw him do at Jackson State. He just did what we saw him do at Colorado.
Ocho didn't stop there. He went all in.
Talk all you want about development and potential. At some point, the numbers have to mean something. And right now, the numbers are painting a brutal picture for Dillon Gabriel. In a recent training session, one where Shadur Sanders wasn't even on the field, Gabriel had a golden opportunity to take command. No pressure from the competition, no distractions. Just him, the system, and the stage. And he flopped. He completed just 11 of 22 reps. That's a flat 50% completion rate, with no defense bringing real pressure and no excuse not to deliver. And that wasn't even his worst showing. Just a few days earlier, on Camp Day 8, Gabriel put up what can only be described as a red flag. He threw just 3 completions on 14 attempts and missed the mark on 11 of them. 11 throws, completely off. Not tight window misses, not borderline drops, wildly inaccurate. That's not simply a bad day, that's a pattern. And when you've got another quarterback, Shedeur, quietly threading darts and executing in the red zone, it raises the obvious question. Why is the guy with worse numbers somehow at the front of a line? When the numbers stop making sense, the theories start coming in. And for Shadur Sanders, the silence from the Browns hasn't just raised concern, it's ignited a movement. Fans aren't buying the excuse that Shedeur needs more time. Not when he's outperforming Dillon Gabriel with third-string reps. Not when his decision-making, accuracy, and leadership are showing NFL-level maturity right now. So what's really going on? Well, people are starting to say the quiet part out loud. Social media has exploded with claims that this isn't about football. It's about favoritism. Some are pointing to race, questioning whether Shedeur is being penalized not for his play, but for who he is, where he came from, or simply for not fitting a mold that certain leaders are more comfortable with. On sports talk shows, whispers have turned into accusations. On fan forums, support for Shedeur is only growing louder. People are calling it what they believe it is: blatant bias, hiding behind coach speak. And the most uncomfortable truth, the Browns haven't given a single convincing reason otherwise. At this point, it's hard to believe that this is just about depth charts and learning curves. The longer the Browns push Dillon Gabriel as the presumed starter, the louder the speculation gets. Not just about coaching bias, but organizational influence. Whispers out of camp suggest that this may go higher than Kevin Stefanski. Some journalists are quietly hinting that front office voices are pressuring Stefanski to back their preferred guy, regardless of who's actually performing better on the field. If that's true, it wouldn't be the first time a team prioritized politics over performance. Dillon Gabriel, despite limited promise, fits into a more safe or predictable narrative. Someone the system already understands and feels comfortable molding. Shadur Sanders, he's a disruptor. not just in play style, but in identity, background, and energy. He carries swagger, confidence, and the pedigree of someone who won't settle for second. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what scares them. Because giving Shedeur control means changing the system, not just playing within it. And if there's one thing NFL franchises hate, it's being forced out of their comfort zone. If this all feels familiar, that's because it is. ... Shadur Sanders has been underestimated before, every step of the way. When he committed to Jackson State, critics shrugged him off. He's only there because of his dad. He can't face real competition. But then he stepped on the field and lit up defenses. He racked up numbers, wins, and game-winning drives like clockwork. People said he couldn't translate that to a bigger school. Then came Colorado. Again, doubters lined up. He's not ready. The spotlight will crush him. He's just hype. But what did he do? He marched into Power 5 football and showed NFL-level decision-making under pressure. Week after week, against top-tier defenses, Shedeur showed not just that he belonged, but that he could lead. Now, here we are again. Same doubt, same narrative, just a bigger stage. And once again, he's doing what he always does, staying locked in, outworking everyone, and proving it on the field, snap after snap. If history tells us anything, it's this. The moment people count Shedeur out is usually right before he proves them dead wrong. The deeper this saga goes, the clearer the split becomes. Not just in the fan base, but inside the football world itself. On one side, you got those still clinging to structure, defending Stefanski's decision to stick with Dillon Gabriel on the grounds of routine, experience, or system fit. On the other, a growing wave of analysts, former players, and fans who can't believe what they're seeing or what they're not seeing. Because the numbers don't lie, the tape doesn't lie, and Shadur Sanders, he's been the better quarterback under worse conditions. Even in the locker room, insiders are reporting buzz around Shedeur's demeanor and leadership. Teammates respect how he carries himself, how he studies the game, and how he maximizes every limited rep he gets. There's a reason more and more voices inside the league are starting to say it out loud. If the Browns really want to win, why not play the quarterback who's actually winning? But here's the thing. When organizations dig in their heels, they rarely admit they were wrong. And that leaves the Browns with a dangerous decision. Double down on a failing direction, or finally give the guy who's earned it a shot. At every level, Shadur Sanders has been forced to prove himself twice as much to get even half the recognition. And yet, here he is again, showing the work ethic, the talent, and the poise to lead, but getting passed over for someone who hasn't delivered when it matters most. Dillon Gabriel has had the spotlight. He's had the reps. He's had the full support of the system. And still, he's failed to make his case. Meanwhile, Shedeur is doing more with less and doing it better. So the question isn't whether Shedeur is ready. It's why the Browns refuse to admit that he already is. Is this about leadership? Is it about ego? Or, as more and more people are starting to believe, is there something deeper going on behind closed doors? Because if this is purely about performance, the choice should be obvious. But it hasn't been. And that's why fans are speaking out louder than ever. What do you think? Is Shadur Sanders being unfairly held back despite proving he's ready? Are the Browns putting loyalty or politics ahead of winning football? Or is there something we're still not seeing behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going, because this decision might just define the Browns' future. And whether they like it or not, everyone's watching.